Hi, my name is Ben Jenkins, and I go along to Hope Church in Oswestry, and I've been going for the last 6 years or so with my family. I'm a single parent to two fantastic children, and they come along to church with me also. And I guess I want to just expand a little bit on that at this moment with you to tell you a little bit about how I have been living out God's purpose for my life and what that means to me on a daily basis and how that's had impact on my family. So let me tell you about somebody that's of significance to me. She was a lady I knew growing up, through all my childhood, through my early teens, and sadly passed away in my late teens, early 20s. And that was my great grandmother. Her name was Florence Griffiths, also known as Queenie. Now, she was called Queenie because she was called that by her father because he thought she was the queen bee. Which is a lovely thought. But this lady had a very rough start to life. And unfortunately, her family circumstances didn't allow, so she was put up in the local paper for adoption. And later, she was adopted by a wonderful family. And she was a great woman of amazing faith and testimony. She supported and set up churches, and she lived for her faith and for her family. Obviously, when somebody of significance has an impact on your life, it can go a long way. My great grandmother had, because of her story, it interested me and it was intriguing, and I wanted to find out more. And that was sort of one path, if you like. And then on another path, I was getting verses like Deuteronomy 10, verse 18, where it says, He defends the fatherless and the widow. Not only does God love all of us, but the author makes it known that God fights for us all, for all of us that struggle. And Isaiah 40:31 is a verse that stayed with me for many, many years. And it's, but those who hope on the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. And these verses and my grandmother's story and people and conversations that I was having really directed me. What is God's purpose? How am I going to live God's plan out for my life? I wasn't really interested in a relationship, but I was really passionate about being a father. Because isn't it lovely when we come into God's family, we're accepted. We are loved and we are chosen. And that's what I wanted to do physically for a child. And in 2013, I adopted my daughter, who is now 10 years old. And just in 2019, prior to lockdowns, I adopted my son, who is 4 years old. And being a dad is one of the greatest privileges I will ever know. It is one of those callings, I guess, that I just feel really passionate about, and I really feel that God has really blessed me for sacrifices, for the decisions I've made. It really helps me to be a parent. Sometimes it's hard work. I work full-time at the Royal Shrewsbury Hospital, so sometimes it is hard trying to juggle everything, but God gives me the patience and the discipline, and he just gives me the space that I need to care for these children and to love them. I'm going to leave you with some verses from Psalm 68, and this is our Father, a father to the fatherless, and God sets the lonely into families. What better way of living out God's calling on my life and God's purpose? A father to the fatherless, and God sets the lonely into families. And if I can challenge you really to tap into what God is saying for you, for your life in this season, what's God's purpose for you on this earth. What's God's plan? What is his big plan? Because if you can tap into it, listen, ask people for wisdom and for prayer, then God will reveal his plan to you. And if it's anything like mine, it's a journey, it's an adventure, but it's one that I really, really enjoy. Thanks.